sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. It's nice to have you here today. My name's Beth, and today we're making a log cabin type block on foundation. Here's our inspiration. We will be using a foundation piece of fabric, a thin piece of fabric, or if you have an old sheet, cotton sheet, you can cut into squares. I have the back of this quilt top shows you this is the foundation I used on this quilt. If you cut all the foundation pieces the same size, it's really easy to sew those pieces on top and have a perfect size block. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to pull out the scraps and we're going to make a quilt block. So let's get started. This is what we're going to use for our block today. This is my foundation. It's an 8-inch square, and I cut this from an old cotton sheet. You might have some thin cotton in your stash that is not really good for quilting, so that's the right kind of fabric to use. The thinner the better. So this is 8 inches, and then my center square is 2 inches. And then I have a bunch of scraps, and I'm going to work around this red square and sew pieces on and press and trim as I go. And it's okay if it hangs off the edge a little bit. We can trim that as we go along. See, I had a little excess, so I trimmed it off, and actually trimming it off is really not that necessary. So press as you go. I'll just be finger pressing if that works. If it doesn't want to stay over, then I'll walk over to the machine, but it looks like those pieces at least are going to stay in place. Just work around that red square any way you want. I'm using all different widths of fabric. And I might, let's see, that one looks good. This one's a little long, so I'll trim that off, but it's going to be hiding behind that strip right there, so don't need to worry too much. Here's a thinner strip. Now I can go on any side. I do not have to go on this side. This is a very free-form block. So depending on what color, and I think these are too close in color way, so I may add this green over here right now. I think I'm going to walk over to the ironing board for a second and press that open, press those seams open. Let's see here. And I do want my strips to be bigger than my 8-inch foundation. Not necessarily that much bigger, but we do want them to be just a little bit bigger. We'll be trimming when we're all done. I'm not sure I want to add these browns and orangey colors. I don't think they really go, so I'm going to get some more greens and blues. Let's see what this looks like here. If I can find the end. Boy, that's a long piece. let's see what that looks like right here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to add that there. Then I just have one more piece to add. Here's a blue. Let's see how this looks on there. Yeah, I think I'll add that there. And then we'll be almost done. Now, you see how this strip hangs over just a little bit? That is kind of my safety measure because I don't want it to be smaller than that 8-inch. I don't want to accidentally not cover my foundation. All right, I think we have all of our strips on the foundation. There's the block before I trim it. Now all I have to do is turn it over and use that foundation as my guide. This is a really easy block to make, and it's the perfect size because you cut that ahead of time and you used up a lot of scraps. Thanks for joining me today.